In early May, the media had completed an interview with Sonny Liston. Liston had big plans to win back his heavyweight championship of the world from Muhammad Ali. We covered Liston's interview and only Liston's interview in episode 9. He said that he was going to retire Muhammad Ali and that he was going to knock him out. There was no doubt about it. Liston had a chip on his shoulder and he wanted to silence his critics as well as Muhammad Ali. Ali heard about Liston's plan and was back in front of the media the very next day. Ali responded, telling the media that he also has a plan for Liston. He told the media that if he tells them what the plan was and when he planned to execute this plan, people would not come to the fight. Ali also told the media that if a time comes when Liston is sitting on his stool refusing to fight, that he would pull Liston off his stool and make Liston fight. I'm not being worried about being called the villain, but I won't tell you the round I'll stop him in. The day of the fight, I'll announce the time I'll KO him. I'll know down to the minute when it will happen. If Liston quits, I'll pull him off the stool and I'll make him fight. Remember, evil will not overcome righteousness. It never wins. I can't be beat. I'll beat him. I wasn't joking when I called the round in the first meeting with Sonny Boy. Liston doesn't believe he could beat me. I won't let him hit me hard. I hope he stays out of trouble until I meet him. I think he'll jump out of the ring before the fight starts. It'll be a dirty fight, but I'll fight clean. The people involved with the fight continue to iron out any final wrinkles having to do mostly with Sonny Liston's criminal background and the fighters' relationships and dealings with Intercontinental Promotions. The district attorney's office did not feel as though Intercontinental Promotions should be promoting the fight and claimed that Intercontinental Promotions did not have a promoter's license. According to Intercontinental Promotions, Sam Silverman was being said to be the promoter for this fight and had been working hard to address and break down each barrier. As of now, the fight was scheduled to be taking place at the Boston Garden. There were still some people that believed Ali and Liston should not be allowed to fight. But as for now, the fight was still on. According to the members of the Boxing Commission, compliance had been met for all requirements. According to some other professionals, there were still some issues that needed to be ironed out. In the meantime, Ali held open sparring and training for the media. Ali had slimmed down and appeared to be in excellent shape. Ali sparred a few rounds with sparring partner Cody Jones for the media. After open workouts, Ali addressed the media. Ali told the media that Liston is a dirty fighter that deliberately attempted to blind him in the first fight. He said that he's expecting Liston to utilize dirty tactics in the rematch. Ali also said that most people will be coming to see him lose and that people's dislike for him was making him more popular. He said that he gained strength from his critics. Ali also said that boxing is no longer as important to him as the sport had been to him in the past. Ali was reporting his weight differently to the media on a daily basis. He was now telling the media that he had gained about 5 or 6 pounds of the previously lost weight back. Both Ali and Liston had been accusing each other of sending spies to each other's camp, and Ali was now reporting different numbers regarding his weight. Ali also spoke on Joe Louis, which he had a big hang-up with Joe Louis. He went on to say that he was a better champion than Joe Louis ever was. There was no secret that Louis was a big supporter of Liston. Louis had been advising Sonny Liston on a variety of subject matter for several years. Even though Louis had not made a prediction, Louis had originally made a prediction that Liston would win, but now he was holding back on his prediction. Ali told the media that he knew that Louis was going with Liston, but that Louis did not want to really admit that he was going with Liston because he didn't have confidence in Liston. Louis had developed a friendship with Liston long before Louis even knew who Ali was. Regardless, Ali still appeared to hold hard feelings regarding the friendship between Louis and Liston. When Ali first burst onto the scene during his amateur days, he told people that his hero was Joe Louis. Ali now appeared to be frustrated that Louis was in Liston's camp. While speaking on Joe Louis, a few of Ali's Muslim brothers entered the room. Ali shifted the conversation to struggles going on between black and white people. He talked about the Nation of Islam for a few minutes, then shifted the conversation conversation back to Sonny Liston. Ali told the media that Liston was not going to last very long in the next fight. He would not predict the exact round. He also spoke on Floyd Patterson, calling Patterson a chump, and told the media that after he annihilates Liston, Patterson would be next in line to receive a beating. Ali again made sure he mentioned that Liston was an 8-5 favorite and advised his fans to bet against Liston. He again told the media that training had been going well. According to Ali's trainers, Ali started his morning routine at 6 o'clock a.m., but would usually rise around 5 o'clock a.m. This was the best time to catch Ali in a serious mood. Ali was the type of man that started his days off very quiet. He usually would not have much to say until lunchtime. Ali would open up verbally as the day rolled on. Ali would run 5 miles each morning before breakfast. The morning workout was usually a closed workout. Ali did not meet with the media every day, but there was a time slot for the media penciled in on his daily routine. That time was 12:45 p.m. If he met with the media, he would hold open workouts around 1 o'clock p.m. This was the daily schedule, which was shared with the media. There were slight adjustments made to the schedule depending on how Ali and the team felt that morning. And even though they would not meet with the media every day, Ali was still more open to meeting with the media than Sonny Liston.
To the workouts you've just seen comes the heavyweight champion of the world himself. Good to see you, champ.
Howard Cosell, the world's greatest newscaster. How you feeling?
You're very kind, champ, but let's get to cases. You look almost like you're ready for the fight right now.
You're about right, almost ready after another week. I'm a little tired now. I'm working hard, but for the big night, I'll be ready.
I notice you've stopped with the poetry. You're not making any predictions. How come?
Well, I'm just, I have a prediction for the fight. But, I think I'll be wise not to release it because so many people believe in my predictions and they have been accurate up to date. I'm afraid that it might hurt the gate if I let them know what's going to happen, so I'll just hold a surprise for them.
Let me say this to you. Good luck. I hope it's not an act. I hope you mean it.
If it's an act, just look at my record and see if there have the other fights been acts. Have they been acts?
Not so far.
Well, what makes you think I'm acting?
And with that final stage of the act, we leave the heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali, or Cassius Clay, as you will, here at his training camp in Chicopee, Massachusetts. We're going to take you for a visit to the Challengers Camp in Poland Spring, Maine, right after this message.
On May 6th, the former light heavyweight champion of the world, Willie Pastrano, visited Ali at his training camp. Pastrano had recently lost his light heavyweight title in a fight with Jose Torres. Muhammad Ali invited Pastrano and a few media members to eat a cooked meal with him prepared by his wife Sonji. Pastrano was previously disappointed with Ali, as Ali was predicting that Torres would defeat Pastrano. According to Pastrano, he had knew Ali longer than Torres and felt that Ali was being disloyal by picking Torres to win the fight. As it turns out, Ali was correct. Regardless, Pastrano appeared to have moved on and was in camp to support Ali. Their conversation took place in front of the media. Ali asked Pastrano not to retire and told Pastrano, "You can't retire just because you have a loss." He used Floyd Patterson as an example and told Pastrano that Patterson has been down several times and is still a top heavyweight. Pastrano responded by telling Ali that he does not believe he is washed up physically, but he is washed up mentally. Pastrano admitted to Ali that Ali picked the right winner when Ali picked Jose Torres to defeat him, but also told Ali that he believes he could beat Torres if he goes in there with the right game plan and mentality. Ali sat with Pastrano in front of the media for several minutes, attempting to convince Pastrano to make a comeback. Ali admitted that he did pick Torres to win, but told Pastrano that he believes with the right game plan, he can regain the light heavyweight championship of the world. Pastrano at times would question his physical decline and seemed somewhat confused as to where his skills was at in the year of 1965. What the media witnessed was a young fighter trying to convince an older fighter that the older fighter still has it. Ali felt bad for Pastrano and appeared not to want to conclude the conversation until Pastrano told him he would again fight Jose Torres. As Ali's wife brought out the food, Pastrano wanted to shift the conversation from himself to Ali. "So, how will that fight with Sonny go?" Ali told Pastrano that he had to admit Liston had an off night. According to Ali, Liston would be more prepared for the rematch. He told Pastrano he was not sure how long the fight would go. He also told Pastrano that he had been telling the media that he has a big surprise for Liston, but admitted that he would base the surprise around whatever the outcome ends up being. So Ali was basically admitting to Pastrano and the media members that was present that whatever the outcome is going to be, I'm going to say that was the surprise. Is basically what he was saying. He asked Pastrano if he saved any money. Pastrano told Ali that he has close to $1 million. When Pastrano asked Ali if he enjoys being a fighter, Ali told Pastrano that he does not enjoy fighting and that fighting was now business. According to some reporters, Ali was still getting used to the new location. The trip to Massachusetts was long, especially after the bus breaking down, and Ali had been in front of the media ever since his arrival.
Cassius, did the bus trip take anything out of you, and was it worth the $1,800 it cost you?
Mohammed. My name's Mohammed. Y'all keep calling me Cassius. I'm tired of telling you. You know, you're intelligent. My name is Muhammad Ali, not Cassius. $1,800 is nothing to me. I draw $7 million whenever I fight, and $1,800 is nothing.
Champ, Liston hopes you don't have another hernia operation.
See, now you rather say Champ than Muhammad. See? I got a surprise that will shock the world. I will not tell you, because if I tell you when I'm going to do it, the people won't come to the fight. That should be a hint right there. What kind of fight? A hint to the wise is sufficient.
Ali continued to tell the media that he has a surprise for Liston that is going to shock the world. May 7th, 1965. With all the issues going on with the district attorney and Intercontinental Promotions, backers of the rematch ended the court battle by pulling the fight out of Boston. The fight would still take place on May 25th, but would now take place in Lewiston, Maine. Ali received this information over the radio. He told his team that it did not matter where they fought and that a change of location would affect an older Sonny Liston more than it would affect him. According to Ali, they could set up a phone booth in the desert and he would fight Liston there. Drew Bundini Brown decided to cancel training for the remainder of the day. He told the media that the champ was in excellent shape and needed a day off. Also on May 7th, Los Angeles, the highly anticipated pro debut of Jared Quarry would finally take place. He would fight 10-year pro Gene Hamilton. Hamilton had fought the majority of his career as a middleweight. Hamilton had been stopped in his last 6 fights, including a knockout loss facing current light heavyweight champion of the world, Jose Torres. Quarry was expected to knock out Hamilton, but the fight went the 4-round distance. Quarry was mostly known for some big knockout victories he had delivered at the International Golden Gloves tournament. Anticipation was high for Quarry. After the fight, Quarry told the media that he understands fighters do not always get the knockout victory they're looking for. Quarry again brought up Oscar Bonavena and said that he does not plan on rushing his career like Bonavena did. Of course, he brought up the fact that Bonavena had just recently lost to skilled veteran Zora Foley. As for now, the plan was to get Quarry 2 or 3 fights a month for the remainder of 1965. Because of his power, Quarry was having issues finding amateur fights over the last year of his amateur career, so he wasn't as active as he needed to be, and he needed some experience. May 9th, 1965. Liston had nothing to say about the change of location regarding the rematch. Ali told the media that his training camp location will remain where it's at. Liston's team decided to move their training camp closer to the fight location. According to Intercontinental Promotions, Sam Silverman was still the promoter. Even with the change in location, the rules were different in Maine. They were more relaxed and rolled out the red carpet for the heavyweight title fight to take place. Plus, the Maine Boxing Commission were no longer affiliated with the WBA, so they definitely had no problem bringing the fight to their state. Muhammad Ali was viewed as the heavyweight champion by the commission in the state of Maine. According to the governor of Maine, John Reed, the upcoming fight would be the biggest sporting event in Maine's history. There was also rumor that former heavyweight champion of the world, Jersey Joe Walcott, may be officiating the fight. The Boxing Commission in the state of Maine thought it would add prestige to the fight to have Walcott as the referee. Lewiston was a small city with a population of approximately 41,000 people, but was said to have a good number of fight fans. The fight date had not been changed. It'd still be May 25th. There was a new location and an increase in ticket prices. But there was also still criticism coming from several members of the media, politicians, and fight fans. According to one popular writer, Liston and Ali were overpaid bums that should not be making higher money than athletes like Arnold Palmer for a few minutes of work. According to this particular writer, golfer Arnold Palmer would make $20,000 winning a golf tournament, while the heavyweight champion could make up to $1 million in a fight. According to a few writers, Liston belonged in prison and not in the ring. They also inked that Ali should be going by his birth name of Clay and also should be offering his services in Vietnam. There would only be a 5,500 seat capacity in the new location. This was compared to the attendance of nearly 105,000 people that attended Tunney vs. Dempsey 2 in the year of 1927. The attendance numbers between the two events were being used to make a statement regarding a decline in fan interest in the sport of boxing. A point raised by those that attempted to debunk the critics was that television was not a factor in the year of 1927. Ali's trainer Drew Bundini Brown spoke with the media on the 9th of May and told them that Ali would not be on his toes as much in this fight. According to Brown, Ali will be utilizing less footwork and sitting down on his punches more often than he did in the first fight. On May 10th, two key fights would take place in the heavyweight division, one on the West Coast and another on the East Coast. Let's start with the West Coast fight. May 10th, San Francisco. Eddie Machen would return to the ring after a failed attempt to gain a vacant WBA title, facing Ernie Terrell 2 months earlier. Machen's opponent, Elmer Rush, was coming off 3 first-round knockout victories in a row. The only fighter that had ever defeated Elmer Rush was Houston's Todd Herring. Herring was scheduled to fight Floyd Patterson in the next 2 days. Rush was hoping for a rematch with Herring, but could not secure that fight as Herring was focused on fighting Floyd Patterson next. Fight fans was looking for a new young heavyweight to make their presence in the heavyweight division. Elmer Rush believed that he was that fighter. The fight was inked to be action-packed and would end up resulting in a draw. Many of the ringside observers had Machen winning the fight as he had hurt Rush in the 3rd and 9th round. It was inked that in the 9th, Machen may have been able to close the show, but took his foot off the gas. It was the stiff jab coming from Rush that kept him in the fight. Machen would give Rush his props after the fight. He told the media that he would be willing to fight Rush in a rematch. Machen said that he was not going to be down on himself. He felt that he had won the fight, but Rush is a good prospect. But considering that Rush is such a good fighter, he could accept the draw for what it is. Let's move on to the East Coast fight. May 10th, Philadelphia. Sonny Liston's sparring partner, Leotis Martin, was 14-1. After spending a number of years with Sonny Liston, Martin had made some big improvements as a fighter. Like Sonny Liston, Martin was born in Arkansas. He was now fighting out of Philadelphia. During the time of this fight, Martin had moved on from being Sonny Liston's sparring partner. Facing Martin was Detroit's Sonny Banks. Banks was known best for knocking Muhammad Ali down in the first round of their 1962 bout. Of course, Ali would win that fight, but the fight between Banks and Ali would never be forgotten by fight fans. Banks was considered to be a step-up fight for Martin and outweighed Martin by 25 pounds. The only problem for Sonny Banks is that he had nearly been out of the ring for a year, and Martin was a very active fighter. This was inked to be an action-packed war. Leotis Martin was down on the scorecards and had just been staggered by a Banks right hand when Martin returned fire and hit Banks with a combination of flush punches followed by a hard right hand towards the end of the 9th round. Banks was out cold before he could hit the canvas. With no control of his legs, Banks' head bounced off the canvas. He did not appear to be regaining consciousness and had to be carried out of the ring on a stretcher. Banks temporarily regained consciousness around 20 minutes later in the dressing room. He was not responding well to questions and was rushed to the hospital. Leotis Martin would follow Banks to the hospital to stay updated on the status of Banks' health. Martin did not want to leave Banks' side until he knew that Banks would be okay. But it did not take long for tearful Leotis Martin to hear that Banks was in critical condition and may not survive. Physicians told Martin that there was a chance Banks may recover and asked Martin to leave and get some rest as they would have to perform an emergency surgery on Sonny Banks. The 24-year-old Sonny Banks was suffering from a blood clot and swelling to the brain. It had only been 3 years since the passing of Benny Kid Paret, and there was many people that wanted boxing to be outlawed. There had not been a death in Philly since Robert Perry vs. Rudy Watkins nearly a decade earlier, but there had already been 4 deaths in boxing in the year of 1965. A concerned Leotis Martin left the hospital in tears and stayed within the vicinity. Leotis Martin would be in and out of the hospital for updates and was having problems sleeping. But his problems was nothing compared to the challenges Sonny Banks was facing. Banks was fighting for his life, and Banks fought hard for days. According to Cleveland Williams and Muhammad Ali, Banks punched as hard or even harder than Sonny Liston. Sonny Banks was a fighter that did not have an amateur career, and his lack of experience was said to be the main reason he had lost fights earlier in his career. Banks played football and basketball and was still hoping to excel in one of those sports. He was only 24 years old. It was only 5 years ago that Banks was riding past the boxing gym and decided to go inside the boxing gym and take a peek. Within a few months, he was already participating in his first professional fight. Banks was a young man that did not have a criminal record. He did not drink and smoke and worked at the Ford plant in Detroit. He resided with his younger brother, who also worked at the Ford plant. Banks would fight for his life for 3 days. Then on the 13th of May, he would pass away in the hospital. Leotis Martin, who was also 24 years old, was devastated. Leotis Martin did not want to return to his job at the factory. He said that he had no choice because Martin's wife was asking him to quit boxing and he had to keep the money coming in. Martin told reporters that he was going to get back to work and think about returning to the ring. When asked what he thought about the passing of Banks, Muhammad Ali reflected on the man that caught him off guard a few years earlier and floored him. Ali told the media that Banks was a hard puncher, and if he had more experience, he would have went further in the sport. As Ali continued to elaborate on Banks, he stopped in his words. Ali seemed to look through the media as he stood in front of them with a blank look on his face. There appeared to be something heavy on his mind that he did not want to share with the media. He sent his best wishes to the family of Sonny Banks and concluded the conversation. Sonny Liston was also asked about the passing of Sonny Banks. Liston was very familiar with both Leotis Martin and Sonny Banks, as Martin and Banks had previously been 2 of Liston's sparring partners. When Liston was asked about the passing of Sonny Banks, Liston said nothing to the media. Liston was in a bad mood that day, and when open workouts were held, he walked into the ring and brutally knocked out one of his sparring partners as if he had been triggered by the question. There was a few key fights and breaking news stories that would occur on the 14th of May. 1. Ali got back his bus on the 14th. The first thing he did was loaded up the bus and took his team to a nearby bowling alley. Ali would trash talk the whole time, winning a few games of bowling. He again spoke down on Sonny Liston, calling Liston an old man and saying that the rumor Liston was running up to 7 miles daily was a lie. According to Ali, old man Liston could never make it through a 7-mile run. He spent some time joyriding around town in his bus, then returned to camp. The media was also around Liston that day. One thing Liston was doing to prepare for the upcoming fight was study film from his first fight with Ali. Liston would not go into detail on what he was picking up from the film study. He did acknowledge that his punches were falling short. Liston told the media that he sees something in Ali and that he has a secret weapon. When asked to elaborate, Liston refused. He concluded by telling the media that his sparring partners fight better than Ali. Also on May 14th, a press conference was held for 300-pound amateur sensation Buster Mathis. Mathis was supposed to represent America in the 1964 Olympics. Before the Olympics, Mathis was sparring with a young fighter named Joe Frazier when Mathis broke his hand. It would be Joe Frazier that would replace Mathis and represent America in the 1964 Olympics. Frazier would win a gold medal. Mathis had been picked up by a group of businessmen that came from his hometown of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Mathis was actually born in Mississippi. Even though he was close to 300 pounds, he was a durable heavyweight that moved like a smaller heavyweight. Mathis could do some of everything from close to long range and had a solid jab. Expectations was high. The plan was for Mathis to be fighting in his pro debut by next month. There was also some more news announced on the assigned referee regarding the upcoming heavyweight title fight between Ali and Liston. According to rumor, the referee was supposed to be Jersey Joe Walcott. Also being considered was former heavyweight champion of the world, Jack Sharkey. Sharkey had won the heavyweight championship of the world some 33 years earlier. He did not believe the fight between Ali and Liston would go the distance. On May 14th, Sharkey did not want to give the media his prediction on the upcoming bout between Ali and Liston, but said that youth usually favors a matchup between two good fighters. Sharkey said that he would only ref the fight if the price was right. While Ali enjoyed a day of light training, bowling, and joyriding, former heavyweight champion of the world Floyd Patterson was in Sweden fighting fellow American fighter Todd Herring. There was over 11,000 fight fans in attendance to see this fight. Herring had only lost 3 of 29 fights, losing fights to Zora Foley, Alonzo Johnson, and at the time, undefeated Tony Alongi. Before the bout, Patterson said that he had heard of Todd Herring but had never seen him fight. Patterson said that he can't imagine losing to Herring and is already looking past him. Patterson would make short work of Herring, stopping Herring in 3 rounds. According to reports, Patterson, who was 16 pounds lighter than Herring, toyed with his opponent and was giving Herring a bad beating before the fight was stopped. In fact, Herring barely landed anything of significance on Patterson. After the fight, Patterson told the media that he would be rooting for Muhammad Ali to defeat Sonny Liston, as he had been promised the title shot if Ali would win. Carl Mildenberger would also defend his EBU title on May 14th, winning a 15-round decision over Piero Tomasoni. The fight was not inked to be an exciting fight. According to some experts, Tomasoni appeared to be winning the fight when Mildenberger came on strong in the later rounds to take the decision. Mildenberger struggled with a cut over his right eye that he had received in the 3rd round. Mildenberger appeared to be hesitant to let his hands go in the early rounds and more focused on staying in the high guard and protecting the cut. There was talk of Mildenberger fighting Ernie Terrell for the WBA title, but as of May 14th, the WBA had yet to make Mildenberger a mandatory for Terrell's title. Fans would have to wait for more news to develop. Mildenberger said that he would fight Terrell, but preferred to fight the winner of the bout between Ali and Liston, which was now less than 2 weeks out. On May 15th, former heavyweight champion of the world Joe Louis told the media that Muhammad Ali is the kind of fighter that thrives off of psychological warfare. Louis said that the antics and verbal outbursts are a huge part of Ali's strategy, and he would be expecting the same kind of behavior from Ali as the fight gets closer. Louis, who was advising Liston, told the media that Ali is going to try to get into Liston's head at the upcoming weigh-in. Louis had been in Liston's ear telling Liston not to let Ali's antics get the best of him. According to former heavyweight champion of the world Joe Louis, Ali did not only get into Liston's head, he also got into the head of Liston's trainer, Willie Reddish. Reddish did not like Ali's big mouth and wanted Liston to put Ali in his place. Many things that Ali had said were not directed at Reddish, but Reddish took many of Ali's criticisms of Liston to heart. Ali did take some indirect shots at Willie Reddish, and he said there was plenty of lies coming from Liston's training camp, such as Liston running 7 miles a day. So Reddish saw that as Ali taking a shot at him as well as Liston. According to Louis, Reddish would get Liston all riled up over statements made by Ali, and he was doing this on a daily basis. May 16th, 9 days before the big fight, the media was reporting that both Muhammad Ali and Sonny Liston were in phenomenal shape. Liston again appeared in front of the media and answered most questions with a yes or no answer. The media knew that if they wanted someone to elaborate, they were better off talking to Liston's trainer, Willie Reddish. Reddish told the media that Liston was in better shape now than he was in when the rematch was originally scheduled. Reddish did not have a prediction, but promised that Liston would win by knockout. As of now, the Louisville sponsoring group still had control of Ali's contract. There was talk of him leaving them and letting the NOI handle all of his business affairs. In the sponsoring group was a woman golfer named Mina Norton. It was originally her husband who held a share of the contract with Ali, but her husband had just passed away and she kept his share of the contract. In 1965, it was a big deal for a woman to have or hold any kind of power position in boxing. She also kept a scrapbook containing images and articles that had to do with Ali. As of recent, Ali had been very short with the media when asked about the Louisville sponsoring group. Ali would not answer many questions on the group, which led people to believe he was looking to moving forward. Of course, they thought that the NOI was going to take over the contract. And there was some talking behind the scenes regarding the NOI's interest in the business of boxing. Was his connection with the sponsoring group harming his pro-black image? That was another question that was coming up, especially in the black community. If Ali was going to promote being pro-black, then it might be better for him to have the NOI handling his business affairs. This was something that would usually come up with the black fan base. Ali was also aware of Miss Norton and her husband passing away and she being given a portion of his contract. He was told that Miss Norton has a big scrapbook on him, but Ali did not want to be connected to Norton and he did not really seem to be interested in being connected to the rest of the sponsoring group other than business. There was no doubt about it that he was weakening his connection with the sponsoring group and strengthening his connections with the NOI. Ali's strongest non-black partnership was with Angelo Dundee. Dundee stayed out of any talk regarding the NOI. He was not shy about it and reminded the media that he works for Ali. Some accused Dundee of being coached by high-ranking members of the NOI to stay quiet on race relations. Regardless, Angelo Dundee never really had much to say and stayed away from race discussions. This made it easy for Ali to interact effectively with his trainer and manager. Ali appeared to have a great deal of respect for Angelo Dundee, but outside of Angelo Dundee, he appeared to be minimizing his connections with anyone outside of the black race, especially the Louisville sponsoring group.
That have grown out of the fact that both of them want the same thing, namely the heavyweight championship of the world. Cassius has it, Sonny wants it. Sonny had it, Cassius took it. Now they want to even the score. Sonny would like that a lot.
Hey, Cass? Good, champ, looking good. Float, champ, float. Cook, young man, cook. This one can't beat Cass in a million years. You know that? Hey, Cass? Put me back up. Don't bother. He can't beat you in a million years, Cass.
That's right, I know it.
You know what? I know it. You know what? Because you're the greatest, Cass. You're the greatest.
Where's Rockman?
The next day, Ali spoke on Floyd Patterson. Patterson was still celebrating his knockout victory over Todd Herring a few days earlier. According to Ali and manager Angelo Dundee, Floyd Patterson was next. Dundee told the media that Ali had not been as active as he wanted to be. The plan now was to fight Patterson before the end of the year. The fight with Sonny Liston was now only 8 days away, and Ali was still sparring. According to Dundee, the champion was in phenomenal shape. May 17th was a Monday, and Ali had trained on the 16th, which was on a Sunday. Ali usually took Sundays off, but had a full day of training. The May 16th training session was closed to the media. In fact, the media had visited both Ali and Liston had taken off his Sunday to rest. Two of the guys that were being considered to ref the fight was former heavyweight champions James J. Braddock and Jersey Joe Walcott. Both guys had just visited Liston's training camp to check out his preparation for the upcoming fight. Walcott refused to make a prediction. Braddock finally decided on Liston and picked Liston to stop Ali in 9 rounds. This may not have been the right time for Braddock to make a prediction, considering he was being looked at alongside Walcott to perhaps officiate the fight. Once again, also being considered to officiate the fight was former heavyweight champion of the world, Jack Sharkey. Now, Braddock and Walcott, they're the ones who went to see Liston and said he was in great condition. Even though Braddock had been asked if he had an interest in officiating the bout, Braddock didn't seem too interested. He was now openly giving his prediction. He shrugged off questions regarding officiating the bout. It appeared now that the top 2 choices to be the ref would be Jersey Joe Walcott and Jack Sharkey. Over the past week, the death threats had increased. Ali received several calls from unidentified callers that warned him they were going to get revenge for the death of Malcolm X. The calls had been going on since the assassination of Malcolm X, which happened around 3 months earlier. We covered the assassination of Malcolm X in an earlier episode. The calls had increased when Ali moved his training camp close to the Boston area. Out of concern, the Boston Globe increased the insurance policies on newspaper reporters that would be covering the upcoming fight between Ali and Liston. The media had an unknown source that informed them about the death threats. When Ali was confronted and asked about the death threats, he did not deny receiving the threats and told the media that he fears nothing outside of Allah and said that Allah and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad would protect him. Ali was asked by the media if he has a life insurance policy, and Ali told the media that he does not have one that he knows of. According to Ali's mother, the $1 million champion had a $500 insurance policy. She said that the insurance policy was one that she took out when Ali was 5 years old. The people that did have a substantial insurance policy in Ali was the Louisville Sponsoring Group, who had told the media that they set up the insurance policy to protect their investment. The attorney for the sponsoring group declined to tell the media how much money they had tied up in Ali's insurance policy. The 23-year-old Ali knew nothing about the insurance policy that the Louisville sponsoring group had and didn't seem to care much about it. In fact, Ali told the media that he could care less about life insurance policies. As the media continued to question Ali regarding life insurance, a frustrated Ali changed the subject back to boxing and spoke highly on his sparring partner, Jimmy Ellis. According to Ali, the talented Ellis was the next light heavyweight champion of the world. The State of Maine Boxing Commission physicians examined Ali and reported that Ali was 100% fit. On May 18th, a telephone news conference took place. Ali and Liston spoke from their training camps to an audience that included 3 former world heavyweight champions. That would be Joe Louis, Jersey Joe Walcott, and Jim Braddock. Also listening in to the telephone call was young Olympic gold medalist Joe Frazier. Frazier had recently told the media several times that he believes Ali would win the fight. According to Joe Frazier, there was not many heavyweights out there that was going to be heavyweights that have an extensive amateur background such as himself and Ali. He told the media that because he was an Olympic gold medalist and he had an extensive amateur background, he could relate to Ali. He was also closer in age to Ali. Frazier believed that Liston's best years were behind him. He said that he found Ali to be entertaining and said that Ali was an inspiration to young fighters like himself. The 3 former world champions, along with the 1964 Olympic gold medalist Joe Frazier, listened to the telephone conference from a jam-packed restaurant in Philadelphia. Ali and Sonny Liston did some verbal sparring as both predicted a knockout. Ali again addressed Joe Louis and told Louis that he made a big mistake picking Liston to win the fight. "Joe, I hope you pick a winner this time. You're just too great to be picking all those losers." When Ali heard that Olympic gold medalist Joe Frazier was also in the restaurant, he addressed Joe Frazier. This was the first time that Ali ever addressed Joe Frazier publicly here in 1965 during the build-up to the Sonny Liston rematch. He advised Joe Frazier to lose some weight and become a light heavyweight. He trash-talked Joe Frazier a little bit. Frazier just smiled, looked at the phone, and shook his head. But at the same time, Frazier was the only person at the restaurant willing to make a prediction. Frazier said that he had always picked Ali to defeat Liston. He said that he had even picked Ali in the first fight, and that Ali represents his generation. Sonny Liston concluded by telling the media that he was in better shape than he was in the first fight, and that his shoulder injury had fully healed. Back at the Liston training camp, Liston was still very short with the media. The former heavyweight champion of the world, Joe Louis, was still around and doing most of the talking. After Joe Louis would leave Philadelphia, he would return to Sonny Liston's training camp. On May 19th, 6 days before the fight, the media showed up to Liston's training camp. Liston had lost a number of sparring partners after knocking them out. The only sparring partner that could hang was Amos Big Train Lincoln, and according to reports, Liston had been putting a beating on Lincoln as well. But there was also reports that Inked Lincoln did not appear to be going full blast in sparring sessions. The sparring partners that Liston had knocked out were said to be lower-level heavyweight and light heavyweight fighters. An invitation had been extended to heavyweight fighter Leotis Martin to once again become a sparring partner for Sonny Liston, but Leotis Martin declined as he was not sure if he wanted to fight again after the death of his last opponent, Sonny Banks. There was some information that leaked out to the media. According to the nameless inside source, Liston was said to not be as explosive as he used to be. They also said that Amos Lincoln, who was his best sparring partner, was taking it easy on Liston, and that Lincoln had been paid off to do so. Liston told one of the media members to go find his trainer Willie Reddish or Joe Louis and speak with them, as he was not in the mood to talk. They spoke with Louis, and Louis took them back to his fighting days and talked about his return match with Max Schmeling. In the first fight, Louis was stopped by Schmeling in the 12th round. In the second fight, it took Louis one round to destroy Schmeling. According to Louis, his trainer Jack Blackburn told Louis that he was not to box Schmeling. Louis was instructed by Blackburn to fight Schmeling. According to Louis, this is what Sonny would have to do against Ali. The angry Jack Blackburn had passed away 23 years ago. Louis dropped some of Blackburn's gems on Sonny Liston. He was honest with Liston and told Liston not to get caught in a strategical battle with Muhammad Ali. Blackburn's philosophy was based on analyzing your opponent, gathering data, and executing a game plan based on your opponent's style. Blackburn did not believe all opponents should be fought the same way and would devise a game plan based on whatever information he could gather on his fighter's opponent. In the days of Jack Blackburn, there was no film study. Blackburn would have to analyze a fighter in person and develop his game plan based off a one-time observation. Maybe sometimes he would get to observe the fighter more than once, but there was no film to go back to and to revisit. If Blackburn could see a fighter in person, he was an expert in observing a fighter's weaknesses. One could only imagine how great of a trainer Blackburn would have been with access to film. Blackburn's interest in boxing had went back to the 1890s. He was a no-nonsense fighter. Knowledge on the sweet science had been passed on to Blackburn through boxing mastermind Frank Sutton, as well as boxing ATG Sam Lankford. Sutton was one of the first black men to judge a fight. Boxing knowledge was gathered and passed down from generation to generation. What Joe Louis did was attempt to pass knowledge down to Sonny Liston that was passed down to him from Jack Blackburn. In the 1960s, film study was based on film availability. So the interaction piece based on recollection was still well defined. Joe Louis also told the media that Liston has a great trainer in his corner, cut from the cloth of a Jack Blackburn in Willie Reddish. According to Louis, Reddish was going to advise Liston to place pressure on Ali. Louis said that Liston needed to abandon the jab. The former heavyweight champ did not believe it was wise for Liston to try to trade jabs with Ali. He believed Liston needed to lead with left hooks and right crosses. He also believed that he needed to stay close to Ali and take away distance between himself and Ali. Lewis said that an aggressive fighter does not have to be as quick with his feet as a fighter that utilizes a lot of movement. The only thing aggressive fighters need to know how to do is cut off the ring. Lewis told the media that he was not as fast with his feet, but knew how to cut off the ring against fighters that had faster feet than him. Lewis said that he had done this several times in past fights of his. He had fought guys that had faster feet, but as long as he knew how to cut off the ring and close the distance, he was able to get to those fighters. He would advise Sonny Liston to do the same thing to Ali. According to Lewis, there was an art to cutting off the ring, and Liston had the right trainer in Reddish to help him improve his ability to cut off the ring. Lewis credited Jack Blackburn again as the man that taught him to cut off the ring. He said that Blackburn had revised his teachings after learning a few extra tricks from Sam Langford. Lewis said that Sonny Liston must go to the body whenever he could. Anytime he could trap Ali, Liston needed to also bang to the body. Lewis concluded by telling the media, "Kill the body and the head will die." Another subject that surfaced on May 19th was Muhammad Ali's popularity. According to some media members, Ali was not as popular as he was making himself out to be. Ali was compared to Jack Dempsey, Joe Louis, and Rocky Marciano. Ali told the media, "You just don't know how popular I am. I'm popular everywhere I go. People love me and the little kids follow me. People who meet me for the first time are surprised I'm so nice. I get off my bus and meet people all over and they all heard of me. Most everybody never seen a world champion before I go out to meet them. The only people that don't like me is the power structure. That would be boxing officials and writers." Ali told the writers that he doesn't understand why they don't like him when he gives them stories. He told the media that maybe he would get more respect if he treated the media the way Sonny Liston treats the media. He reminded the media that they should appreciate him for giving them the interviews and giving them the stories and giving them juicy material to write about. According to many of Ali's critics, he was not liked because of his mouth. According to the media, the most boastful heavyweight champions before Ali was John L. Sullivan and Jack Johnson. Sullivan once told onlookers that he can lick any man in the house. Jack Johnson was another former heavyweight champion that did not hold his tongue in regards to him being the best fighter in the world. According to the media of 1965, Muhammad Ali had heightened the art of boasting to a new level. According to multiple media members, another reason Ali was not liked was because of his affiliation with the Nation of Islam. When one of the writers brought up Ali's religion, Ali had a quick response. "When Joe Louis was heavyweight champion of the world, he wasn't considered the champion of the Baptists, and he's a Baptist. Floyd Patterson is a Catholic. When he was champion, he wasn't considered champion of the Catholics. So why should I be considered the representative of the Muslims? I'm the champion of me." Ali told the media that the Nation of Islam is ready to embrace Sonny Liston. He told the media that after Liston loses, everyone is going to continue to turn their backs on Liston. "I'm going to talk to him in the ring and tell him I'm going to take him to one of our meetings. We'll have somebody for him because everybody else is going to let him down after he loses. We got brothers in Denver ready to talk to him now." Ali did not attack Liston for calling him Clay. Many of the old school fighters had also still called Ali Clay. The two fighters that Ali didn't accept calling him by his birth name was Floyd Patterson and Ernie Terrell. But Patterson and Terrell had also criticized Ali for being involved with the NOI. Ali felt that Patterson and Terrell was doing this to appease white people. Liston stayed away from the subject altogether. Liston's age came up again, and everyone from the critics to people close to Liston said that Liston was well in his 40s and could have been born the same year Jack Dempsey won the heavyweight championship of the world. These concerns would surface again decades later, but there is plenty of documentation that supports this being a concern as early as Liston's first destruction of Floyd Patterson. If it was true that Liston could have been born anywhere between 1919 and the early 1920s, then Liston was perhaps more than 20 years older than Muhammad Ali. There are reports that one of Liston's older sisters said that he was born after the First World War. But Liston had 25 siblings, and reports are sketchy as to which sibling said this. Liston was not a stably grounded child and could have easily missed census reporting or been reported at whatever age his mother reported him at for her convenience. There is not any proof that Liston was in the home when he showed up on early 1930s census reporting. The listed age of 31 did not add up to past arrest records. According to the media of 1965, they had researched a variety of listed ages for Liston when it came to past arrest records from as early as the late 1940s into the early 1950s. Some said that Liston was doing well in training. According to others, what the media was reporting was not true. The few times the media had showed up to watch Liston spar, it was against D-level sparring partners. Was Team Liston holding something back? Liston did not hold as many open training camps as Ali. Liston acknowledged himself that Ali had spies coming in and out of his training camp. One of the reasons Ali was telling the media things like Liston was not running 7 miles a day was because Ali was said to have spies. How far was Liston past his prime? Was Joe Louis saying that Liston needed to get Ali out early because Joe Louis knew that Liston's best chances was in the earlier rounds? Liston's trainer, Willie Reddish, was doing a little talking, but wasn't communicating with the media very much. There was also some concerns coming from Liston's team in regards to death threats Ali was receiving from Malcolm X supporters. There was a rumor that some shootings may take place while Ali was in the ring with Liston. Bulletproof vests would be issued to media men that would be close to the ring. There was reports that Liston was also receiving death threats over the phone and in the mail from people that claimed to be part of the NOI. Some say he received death threats from a group of specially selected men in the NOI called the Fruit of Islam. Liston was asked if he was threatened, but refused to talk to law enforcement, as Liston did not really like law enforcement. What would Liston have to gain from Ali's beef with supporters of the late Malcolm X? Because of Liston's personality, he was not going to express concerns that can be interpreted as fear. Liston was told that the place that gunmen would have a clear shot at Ali was when Ali was in the ring. Did the situation regarding Malcolm X and the NOI affect Sonny Liston? Did this group of what the media called strong-armed goons from the NOI, called the Fruit of Islam, really threaten Liston? Ali even received a letter that had the name of Sonny Banks in it, along with some other fighters that had died over the past few years. And according to threats in the letter, Ali would be the next one to die. Ali said he was not concerned and told the media that the people sending the letters were sick. Ali did not appear to be very concerned about Liston either, and over the past few days had been talking more about Floyd Patterson. According to the media, Ali had threatened to send the Fruit of Islam to pay Patterson a visit. According to Ali, the NOI was a peaceful organization. He would only be utilizing this group of men called the Fruit of Islam to enforce intimidation tactics on Floyd Patterson. Ali threatened to have members of the Fruit of Islam not only go to Patterson's camp, but he planned to buy all the tickets in the first 5 rows and fill the seats with the Fruit of Islam to scare Patterson. Of course, that's if he was to beat Liston and ever even fight Patterson. Ali also said that when he's done with Patterson, Patterson would have to wear his disguise for the rest of his life. Floyd shouldn't wear that beard. Think of what it could mean to his children. Imagine his boy walking with his daddy and his daddy wearing a beard. What's the boy going to think of his daddy? He should walk around proud with his head up so that his children should be proud of him. That Floyd, he's too soft. I say all these mean things about him, and then when I look up and smile at him, he's happy. He forgives me. He shouldn't forgive me. He should be mean and tough. He should say he hates me and that he'll whoop me in the ring. He should be vicious. A fighter has got to be vicious. At this time, both Ali and Liston had their pre-fight examinations. The pre-fight examinations was completed at their own training camps. Liston was late receiving his examination, but both fighters checked out to be fully fit. Leading up to the fight, the media had been trying to get hold of the outspoken former heavyweight champion of the world, Jack Dempsey. They would finally catch up with Dempsey on the 19th of May. Dempsey had pumped the brakes on speaking negatively about Ali after meeting Ali at a dinner and having a pleasant evening hanging out with the young heavyweight champion. Dempsey told the media that Ali knows how to fight, but is not the greatest. According to Dempsey, the only thing that Ali was the greatest at was trash talking. Dempsey admitted that he does not think too highly of Ali or Liston. Dempsey told the media that it's only natural for him to pick the younger fighter to win. Dempsey was also highly respected and would get a lot of inside exclusive information on fighters without even visiting their training camps. Most of these discussions took place at Jack Dempsey's restaurant, which we talked about in an earlier episode. According to Dempsey, Sonny Liston was not in the kind of shape that Liston's team was reporting to the media. Dempsey told the media, if any fighter had quit in the old days and quit the way Liston did in that last fight, the crowd would have torn the house apart. On May 20th, it was announced that 400 state troopers would be present along with 300 county and local law enforcement officers to protect Ali from supporters of the late Malcolm X. They was also there to protect the fight fans and Sonny Liston, media, and any other people that was working at the fight. After all the stories about marital problems, Ali did not allow the media to interview his wife. There was one media man that was able to secure an interview with his wife, Sonji. He was able to catch up with Sonji while Ali was busy signing autographs and talking to the fans. Ali had also been distracted by a visit from light heavyweight champion of the world, Jose Torres. Sonji agreed to be interviewed if the interview would be kept short. According to Sonji, this would be the first live fight she has ever attended. She told the media that she does not like boxing and hates to see people get hurt. She also said that she does not talk about boxing with Ali and that they mostly talk about their future. Recently, she was living with Ali in Chicago in a nice size apartment. She told the person interviewing her that she does not want to move back to Chicago and could care less if she ever goes to Chicago again. She said that she was tired of living in apartments and wanted a big home with some land and a swimming pool away from the city and away from people. According to the man conducting the interview, she appeared frightened and nervous that she may have said too much and concluded the interview saying that she could not wait for the fight to end so she could steal her man and run away with him and hide somewhere. It was also announced on the 20th that the third man in the ring in the upcoming heavyweight championship bout would perhaps be former heavyweight champion of the world, Jersey Joe Walcott. As of May 20th, the choice of referee was still not official, but it appeared as though Walcott was in the lead as a final choice. There was no doubt about it, Ali was the more media-friendly fighter between himself and Liston. On May 20th, Liston's attitude towards the media had not changed any. Liston was not in the mood to speak with the media, but did tell the media that only cowards run around in the ring the way Ali does. He also said that Ali was afraid of him. Liston's trainer Willie Reddish was a little more talkative than normal. Willie Reddish said that Liston will apply more pressure and will be going to Ali's body. According to Reddish and Liston, Ali was going to run throughout the majority of the fight. Reddish said that Sonny would slow Ali down with a constant attack to Ali's body. Reddish said that it may take 6 to 7 rounds to wear Ali down and that Liston had been working on cutting off the ring. One writer wrote that Ali is not afraid of Liston and that part of Liston's strategy is the utilization of intimidation tactics. That would be to defeat a fighter before the fighter enters the ring. In the past, Liston would do this with an ice-cold stare by mean-mugging his opponents at pressers and at weigh-ins. This tactic was not effective against Ali. It didn't work in the first fight. According to this writer, when Liston's bullying tactics don't work, Liston is at risk of being bullied himself as Liston loses confidence. This media man covered the old example of the bully being turned into the bullied. This had been found to happen with past fighters considered as bullies and would happen with future fighters that would be considered in the future to also be bullies. There's always a fighter out there that is not going to be afraid and not going to be intimidated. Therefore, the bully must always be prepared for a fighter that is mentally strong enough to deal with the intimidation tactics that comes from a bully. Plus, Liston was being accused of quitting in the first bout. The media didn't think that this tactic was going to work with Ali and that Liston may be better off by abandoning this tactic of trying to bully his opponents. Liston continued to tell the media that he had wanted to continue in the first bout and that it was his corner's decision to stop the fight. On May 21st, 4 days before the big fight, another announcement was made regarding security for the upcoming bout. According to reports, there would be an increase in previously reported numbers regarding law enforcement. Ali continued to tell the media that Allah and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad would protect him. Liston continued to say nothing. But there were members of the team that appeared to be worried about being close to the ring if and when the bullets would be fired at the squared circle. Surprisingly, Liston was being nice to the people in Maine as well as the media. He wasn't very talkative, but he wasn't as mean as he usually is. According to Liston's team, Liston had changed for the better, but was now the right time for Liston to deviate from his recognized personality and embrace more of a nice guy role. Liston had embraced this nice guy role before. He did it after he defeated Floyd Patterson, and they wanted to clean up his image as the new heavyweight champion of the world. Nearly every day, the media would write articles based around Liston's personality. Many of the media people, as well as the fight fans, felt that Liston lacked the personality and that he was just a mean man that tried to intimidate anybody he came across. Some fight fans felt that Liston was being nicer than normal. The ones who were talking like this said that Liston needed to return to being mean. The media was all over the place. Different media men had different opinions on Liston's personality. But the ones who thought Liston was being too nice, they wanted to see that angry man back that they saw in the late 1950s and the earlier 1960s. Was Team Liston attempting to push a softer image for Sonny Liston? One thing they could not change was the fact that Liston was now an older fighter and was not as explosive as he was in the 1950s and early 1960s. Nobody, including Liston himself, seemed to know how old Liston was. Liston was also said to have 2 bad shoulders. This was not the active Sonny Liston of 1958 through 1962. Liston became less active after defeating Floyd Patterson and winning the World Heavyweight title. With the inactivity came injuries. Not to mention, Liston was far from a gym rat. Liston liked to drink alcohol and hang out late nights. The images of him smoking cigarettes would show up a few years later. The rumors of drug use would also come a few years later. But outside of drinking, there was no reports of drug use or smoking in 1965. But Liston's dedication to the sport was questioned at times, and so was Ali's. The difference is that Ali was perhaps 20 years or more younger than Liston. Ali also did not drink alcohol and smoke cigarettes. In fact, Ali did not do any kind of drugs. Ali did, however, recently put on some weight. So these two fighters did not appear to be gym rats. But did Ali's weight gain have more to do with Ali recently having hernia? Ali was instructed by his physician not to train right away. Ali had never put on that kind of weight before. So now that Ali was back in shape, hopefully he would stay on top of his weight moving forward. It was also being said that Ali had the mental edge. The media wrote articles on psychological warfare, giving Ali the edge over Liston. As the old saying goes, boxing is also mental, and those that have a mental edge have an advantage on fight night. The media believed that one of Ali's major strengths was his ability to get under Liston's skin verbally. Ali was a better speaker than Liston and was levels above Liston in delivering trash talk. Ali had been playing mental games with Liston for nearly 3 years now, and Liston seemed to let the trash talk bother him more as time went by. Ali had not been trash talking Liston as bad as he did in the build-up to the first fight. But Ali was still talking, and the talk still appeared to bother Liston. Liston was again asked by the media why he still calls Ali Clay. Liston told the media he met him as Clay and will always call him Clay. Ali was asked about Liston refusing to acknowledge him by Ali and had nothing to say about Sonny Liston. Once again, Ali must have had his reasons as to why he never held Liston to the same standards that he held Patterson and Ernie Terrell to. When Ali was asked about Liston calling him Clay, instead of calling Liston an Uncle Tom or a sellout, he just stuck to his usual attack with Liston, which usually had something to do with being a big ugly bear. According to an unnamed brother with the NOI, Liston did not possess the traits of an Uncle Tom, and perhaps his beatings and disrespect towards law enforcement was the only answer they needed. Also, Liston did not seem to be going out of his way to call Ali Clay in a condescending manner that could be compared to the way Patterson and Terrell used the name Clay. The news continued to come out on May 21st. WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Ernie Terrell, would request a circuit court order to prevent Muhammad Ali from calling himself the heavyweight champion of the world. Terrell was also suing Ali and 5 people promoting the upcoming bout between Ali and Liston. Terrell was asking for $1.5 million in damages. According to Terrell, Ali's claim in regards to being called the heavyweight champion was taking money out of his pockets. A hearing was scheduled to take place within the next day. It was also reported that Team Liston had offered the WBA champion Terrell $1,000 a day to be the chief sparring partner for Liston, and that Terrell had turned the offer down, believing that as the heavyweight champion, he is no longer a sparring partner. But Terrell needed some extra cash, and he was not making the paydays that Ali and Liston was making. Floyd Patterson was also receiving more money than Ernie Terrell. Terrell believed in himself and thought that his time to make big paydays was coming soon. Joe Louis, Jersey Joe Walcott, and James Braddock had been visiting the training camp of Sonny Liston over the past few days. Now that the fight was only 3 days out, the 3 legends visited Ali. Ali spoke to the legends as he trained, especially Joe Louis. As Ali jumped rope, he called Joe Louis the greatest heavyweight champion of all times. But he also told Joe Louis to give him 5 years and he would top the legacy of Joe Louis. As Ali jumped rope and talked to Joe Louis, Louis said nothing and smiled. Ali also joked with Louis and tried to get Louis in the ring with him to spar. Louis laughed and declined. Ever see a heavyweight as fast as I am, Joe? Come on, there ain't been a heavyweight as fast as me, has there? Louis said nothing. He just continued to laugh and smiled as Ali joked around with him. Ali also sparred with Jimmy Ellis for 2 rounds and even hurt Ellis with a right hand. While Ali was in camp, he was sent some gifts from Sonny Liston with a message. To Mouth Almighty from Sonny Liston. Ali did not reveal to the media what was in the packages sent from Sonny Liston, but the media did verify the card that was sent from Sonny Liston. They had also visited Liston's camp. Liston continued to go through long drills on cutting off the ring with his trainer, Willie Reddish. Reddish was impatient and was doing a lot of yelling. Liston did not argue and did what he was asked to do. That had not always been the case in the past. Also, Canadian heavyweight George Chuvalo was back in the news. Chuvalo was in town and he wanted to fight with the winner between Ali and Liston. The only problem for Chuvalo was that Floyd Patterson was being promised a title shot if Ali won, and Ernie Terrell was being told that he would probably get a shot if Liston won. Chuvalo's plan was to visit the training camps of both Ali and Liston within the next few days.
And on the second floor of the building, which you see behind the heavyweight champion of the world and myself, is the ring where the champion trains, and I suspect that the viewers would like to see you work out today, just 3 days before the bout, champ. Shall we go up?
Yeah, let's go. Let's let them get the last look, and then they'll know how to bet the money.
With the usual modesty, the champion speaks. Let's move. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Words by trainer Drew Bundini. Shirt by Stephen Fetchit. And of course, this is Angie Dundee, who is really the manager of the heavyweight champion of the world. And Angie, I trust you'll join me in commentary as we watch the champion work out. Angie, why against a light heavyweight?
Well, I wanted to see, this is a new wrinkle from the last fight. I wanted to see if he can outspeed a lighter man.
It appears to me that he's adopting the same tactics he did in the first fight, moving steadily to the left.
Well, there's no sense in changing success. My spies in Liston's camp tell me he's in great shape, which is good. I want him to knock out the best Liston's go. This is what he will do come May 25th. He'll knock him out. He'll knock him out in 11 or 12 rounds.
Is there anything Liston can do to neutralize Clay's footwork?
Only thing Liston can do is try to get lucky.
Always keeps moving to the left. Fought that way the first time, the Jersey Joe and Sugar Ray technique.
Well, he can go the other way, too.
Where is this side-to-side action, man?
He'll show it to you. Well, here's your side-to-side. You asked me for it. There it is. All right. Bang. He dropped the right hand in. Now, if that was in front of a bigger man, he would have surrounded him.
Well, Angie, that wraps up the champ's sparring for today. Just 2 rounds.
That's correct. He's there now, and we don't want to leave it here.
Thanks a million for your comment.
On May 22nd, 1965, the media continued to report on the possibility of violence occurring at the fight. The media wrote stories on armed men that were supporters of the late Malcolm X. According to the media, these men wanted revenge for the assassination of Malcolm X. As each day passed, reported numbers in armed security increased. The last thing the promoters wanted was for the numbers to drop regarding attendance. The newspapers were quick to let the fight fans know that security would be on site and would be ready to counter any violence that may occur outside of the ring. It was also on the 22nd of May that Sonny Liston was in rare form. Sonny Liston had been nice to the people in Maine, but was not very talkative when it came to the media. It was on this day Sonny Liston had jokes. He made jokes about law enforcement officers being better in Lewiston, Maine than law enforcement officers in Denver, Colorado. Liston said that he was more successful on the water fishing in Lewiston than he was back in Denver. Liston also spoke on the WBA and the treatment he has received from them over the past year. Again, the WBA had stripped Ali of the title and removed Liston from the rankings. The WBA's new champion, Ernie Terrell, was not selling many tickets and did not appear to be gaining much popularity. Terrell was now calling for a fight with the winner of Ali versus Liston, and if Terrell could get his wish, then some may have asked, what was the point of removing Liston from the WBA rankings to begin with? The WBA had not only removed the 2 most popular heavyweights from their sanctioning body, but many boxing experts and insiders had also lost respect for the WBA. The majority of boxing experts and fight fans of this era preferred to see a fighter lose their belt in the ring. Liston concluded by saying that he believes he will stop Ali, but said that he believes he could also win a decision if Ali decides to run. Liston was also asked if he would be prepared for a wild weigh-in as the fight was now 3 days out. Liston said that he was not worried about Ali's mouth and said that he didn't mind the trash talk as long as Ali didn't open his mouth too wide and blow another hernia. Liston also said that he was in great shape and that his hurt shoulder was now healed. One obvious change was the presence of Floyd Patterson's former trainer, Cus D'Amato. Cus D'Amato was not on Liston's team, but was visiting and had an opinion. Cus was known as the trainer/manager that did not hold his tongue. He had a strong opinion and personality and appeared to take a liking to Sonny Liston. In fact, Cus was a man that interacted well with current and past criminals. He had no fear and at times could verbally be aggressive towards the media as well as the fighters. According to Cus, Sonny was more consistent in his style of fighting. Cus said that Ali was a very good fighter and that Ali has matured over the past few years. Cus agreed with old school fighter and now Liston trainer Willie Reddish that Liston would have to cut the ring off effectively, but said that Liston has to throw 2 or 3 punches at a time against Ali. Top contender George Chuvalo was also visiting Liston's training camp and said that Liston looked a little slow in the ring, but did appear to look dangerous and appeared to be in good shape. Chuvalo told another set of reporters that he was not impressed with Liston, but said that Liston knew he was watching and perhaps did not want to display as much of his skill set as he could have. Chuvalo was having difficulty finding fights. Even though he had lost to Floyd Patterson, Patterson was banged up after the fight and had suffered 3 broken ribs. Chuvalo wanted to fight the winner between Ali and Liston, but so did all the other top heavyweights. It appeared pretty obvious that Chuvalo would not be next in line. When Liston heard what Chuvalo said about him being slow, Liston responded by asking the media if they know the story of the tortoise and the hare. When asked about a possible upcoming fight with Chuvalo, Liston said that right now he's only focused on Ali. Sonny Liston also remained an 8-5 favorite a few days out from the fight. The media continued to question Ali's heart in regards to threats coming from Malcolm X followers. Ali continued to say that he feared no man. Ali told the media that there was only 2 times in his life that he displayed fear. He admitted to being nervous and displaying a little fear while at the 1960 Olympic Games. The other time he admitted to being afraid was when an incident between him and Sonny Liston took place around some gambling tables in Las Vegas. During that incident, Sonny Liston had pulled out a gun. Moving back to security regarding the upcoming rematch. According to the newspapers, Ali now had armed security in his presence at all times. There was law enforcement and NOI security in Ali's presence. Law enforcement also kept their eyes on Sonny Liston. Liston was not too fond of law enforcement officers, but on this occasion, law enforcement was said to be looking out for him. When he was asked to speak on the increase in police activity, the media would not receive any response from Liston. He would usually walk away from those type of questions with no expression. Also, the hearing had finally took place considering the WBA champion Ernie Terrell's lawsuit against Muhammad Ali. Terrell did not want Ali to call himself the heavyweight champion of the world and was also seeking $1.5 million in damages. The assigned judge was not impressed and dismissed Terrell's lawsuit against Ali for the use of the word champion. Terrell received nothing in damages as the judge ruled that Terrell's attorneys did not demonstrate adequate proof of damage on Terrell's behalf. Maybe it would be best for Terrell to go back to the drawing board and figure out why he was not a big draw. Many of Terrell's critics said it was Terrell's grab and hold fighting style. Even Sonny Liston spoke on Terrell's recent actions and said that Terrell is no kind of champion and going to court is a disgraceful way to handle his lack of appeal. Former heavyweight champions Braddock, Lewis, and Walcott attended one of Liston's last workouts before the fight. The sparring partner imitating Ali was Wendell Newton. Newton was a lanky youngster from the Bahamas. Liston sparred both Newton and the main sparring partner, Amos Big Train Lincoln. According to some media members, Liston did not look good in this sparring session. Liston sparred Newton a few rounds and could not even seem to land a glove on Newton. Joe Louis got up in the middle of the sparring session, shaking his head, and headed out to the golf course. Louis was asked if Liston looked slow, and Louis replied stating that Liston had always been slow. But according to Louis, Liston was supposed to be learning to cut off the ring better and failed to display any improvement. In fact, Liston threw a hard punch at Newton and missing by a mile almost landed on the floor himself. May 23rd, 2 days before the big bout. As of the 23rd, Liston was now being reported to be anywhere between a 7-5 and 9-5 favorite to win the bout. A few weeks ago, Liston was said to be doing well in training. Over the past few days, there had been some reports of Liston looking slow. There was also an unidentified source that reported Liston had not looked good throughout the full camp and that his main sparring partner, Amos Big Train Lincoln, had been paid extra cash to make Liston look good. Once again, top-rated heavyweight George Chuvalo had visited Liston's camp and reported that Liston looked slow and that he was not impressed by what he saw while watching Sonny Liston train. Joe Louis had been all over the place at times as to reporting how Liston looked in training. Over the past few days, Joe Louis didn't seem to want to answer any questions regarding how Sonny Liston was looking in training. Joe Louis did not appear to be too happy with what he had been seeing recently coming from Sonny Liston in training camp. Former heavyweight champions Archie Moore and Jack Dempsey, who both had inside sources, said that the reports regarding Liston being in the best shape of his life was not true. Jersey Joe Walcott, who was being considered as a ref and had actually visited both camps, didn't say much. Even with all the talks of violence, the fight fans in Lewiston seemed to be happy that the fight was taking place in their town. In fact, the whole state of Maine had not had a title fight since Henry Armstrong fought Paul Jr. over 25 years earlier. The legendary Armstrong was now a minister and also was spending time teaching young fighters how to fight. When Armstrong was asked who he favors in the fight, Armstrong said that he was going to go with the younger man. Also on the 23rd of May, Ali's 1960 Olympic trainer Julius Menendez dropped some gems on the public regarding Ali. According to Menendez, Ali is a more vulnerable fighter during the early rounds in the fight. The longer a fight goes, the tougher the fight gets for his opponents. According to his past trainer, Ali is mentally strong and has the ability to turn fear into anger. He said that Ali trash talks to psych himself up and that this is one of the ways Ali handles his own fears. Menendez elaborated. He said that Ali will avoid keeping a fight at close range for for as long as he can by popping out a jab and fighting on his toes. Once he has his opponent's timing down and his opponent tires out some, then he likes to fight in mid-range. Ali finally arrived in Lewiston, Maine on the 24th. He traveled in his private bus without police protection. However, he did have protection that was provided by the Nation of Islam. He was greeted by former heavyweight champions James Braddock and Jersey Joe Walcott. He met with the media shortly after arrival.
Like a butterfly and sting like a bee. Oh, rumble, young man, rumble. People think we crazy. Let them keep thinking. Listen, they crazy. Let them keep thinking it. Listen, they crazy. We are crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, we are being attacked by highway bandits. They are now approaching us on their horses. What do you say, stewardess? You mean the plane is going to crash? Say a prayer, recite a Bible verse. Well, I don't know no Bible verse. Just do something religious. I'll take up a collection.
It's a beautiful place here. Nice, very nice layout. Beautiful. Yeah.
Ready to battle. And tell all those people out there in England, the barrel will leave tomorrow night. And the price is right. Yeah. Where's the bear, Joe?
I didn't see the sport.
You didn't see the bear. Jersey Joe Walcott, prettiest dancer in the ring. Look at here, Joe. Where y'all going now?
We're going up to Lewiston.
Okay. Well, I want you to do something if you should see him again. Tell the bear he's got one chance. Jeez, I read about this, but you don't think it's there. Okay, Joe. Jersey Joe Walker. Boy, that was a great fight. That man was so fast on his feet. We beat Lewis one day. They think I'm dumb. See, they think I'm dumb. But that's Liston's boys. The biggest thing in the world coming up tomorrow, and I'm spending my time with you. Thank you.
Initially, Ali did not spend too much time speaking about Liston. He told the media he wants the beer and then he wants the hear. When Ali said the hear, he was referring to former heavyweight champion of the world, Floyd Patterson. 250 to 300 people gathered up at the Holiday Inn to hear Ali speak. According to the media, Ali spent the majority of his time speaking on his only fears being Allah and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Ali received some negative feedback for this, but Ali wanted the people to know that he had no intentions on leaving the NOI and that he was happy being one of the brothers. He thanked Elijah Muhammad for his success and said that he would not be where he was at without Elijah Muhammad and Allah. Ali did take a little time out to speak on Liston being the favorite. He said that he did not understand how Liston could be the favorite in this fight, especially after what he did to Liston in the first fight. Many of the people that had visited both camps were saying Ali looked better in training. Though inked to be in good shape, Liston had been receiving some criticism and was being said to look slow and old in training. Ali had been speaking on a surprise throughout the build-up, but every time the media asked Ali what the surprise was, Ali would say that if he told the fight fans, they may not come to the fight. The only thing close to a prediction Ali made was that the fight would not go 10 rounds. He said that he had no plans to go looking for Sonny Liston before the fight and said that he does not want to scare Liston into being a no-show, so he did not intend on crashing Liston's training camp or putting too much focus in the trash talk. Ali and his wife spent some time in their suite and then Ali left his room. There was media and security all over the place. Ali again spoke to the media. His attention was now back on Sonny Liston. According to Ali, Liston was not a very smart guy. He asked the media, how can Liston get arrested and go around wrestling a dozen cops all the way to the police station? Ali said that he himself was recently stopped for speeding and didn't even have his driver's license. Ali told the media that he yes-sir'd the police all the way to the police station. He said that by the time he got to the police station, he was told by law enforcement that he had been so obedient that they let him go. According to Ali, loudmouthing the police makes things worse, and knowing how to talk to a police officer may prevent a person from being arrested. The media again asked Ali if he was planning another outburst at tomorrow's weigh-in, similar to the outburst that came at the weigh-in before the first fight. According to Angelo Dundee, Ali's actions had to do with playing a mental game on Liston. His plan back then was to get Liston worked up so that Liston would be overly aggressive and available for counters. According to Dundee, when Liston went into the first fight angry, he abandoned everything he had worked on in preparation and threw his shoulder out trying to get to Ali. Nobody knew for sure what Ali had in store the next time he met Liston face-to-face, which would be at tomorrow's weigh-in. He reminded the media that he had stayed away from Liston's camp for this fight and said that he has something planned for everyone at tomorrow's weigh-in. Ali also told the media that Liston was scared regarding all the threats the media reported that Ali was receiving from the black nationalists. He made sure to point out that Liston was not even a target and that Liston was the only one between the two of them that was afraid. Ali said that the only living man he feared was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He held up pictures of Elijah Muhammad, and this would not be the last time he displayed the images. Ali told the media that he did not care much for all the police activity surrounding the fight. According to Ali, it was Liston that now loved the police officers. He told the media to watch Liston at tomorrow's weigh-in, and they will see the fear coming from Liston. Ali then made his way around the pool at the Holiday Inn. He told a few media members that he has to defeat Sonny Liston, or his career as a fighter will be over. According to Ali, if he loses, due to his affiliation with the NOI, he would never receive another title shot. Liston had also told the media that he will never fight Ali again, no matter the outcome. Liston said that Ali has too much going on in his life for him to fight Ali again. According to the Boxing Commission in the state of Maine, a referee had been selected for the bout. The referee would not be announced until right before the fight. Rumor had it the referee could end up being one out of two former heavyweight champions of the world. Perhaps James Braddock or Jersey Joe Walcott. Both former champions had been around throughout the buildup of the fight, and the media had already printed several stories on one of the two past fighters being considered to officiate the fight. Over in the UK, it was announced by the British Broadcasting Corporation that Ali vs. Liston 2 would be the first time that a major American sporting event would be televised live in Great Britain. The transmission will be scheduled to occur by way of early bird satellite. Also on May 24th, bad news for Sonny Liston. A court had ordered that Liston's 30% share of the gate would be held due to failures to complete contractual engagements in England and Scotland. Any other money paid to Liston would not be affected. Liston was expected to lose an estimated $70,000. $70,000 was a lot of money to lose in the year of 1965. The critics gave their opinions all the way up to the fight. There was those that said the ringside observers were at risk considering all the reported threats that had been coming in between black nationalist supporters of the late Malcolm X and the NOI. Even Martin Luther King had offered his services to resolve the issues going on between the groups at odds. There was talk about gunfire and bombs. One point that was made was that there had been fighters in the past that had been threatened by guns. Fighters that had been ordered to take a dive, whether it had to do with mob activity or color lines. But the threats that occurred in the past had been in-house and were not reported before the fight. If a fighter's life had been threatened, the threat stayed behind the scenes and away from the media. Would fear keep fight fans from attending the fight? Was the media overreacting? All of this remained to be seen. May 25th, the day of the fight. On the 24th, Ali had told the media that he would not have much to say to Liston. He also said that he would have a surprise at the weigh-in for Liston.
Charles Sonny Liston, the avenging ex-champion, was the first guy in the ring at weigh-in time. 37 fights, 25 knockouts, 10 by decision, lost only 2 times, and then bouncing all the way from his dressing room, the title holder, Mr. Cassius Clay, came down loose and limber. Let's try to pick up some of the weigh-in sounds for you.
That's 215 and 1/4.
215 and a quarter. Let's get a picture. Correction, 215 and a quarter listed. 215 and a quarter listed.
Sonny was first guy on the scales, as you see, and he was 2 3/4 pounds lighter than the last time out, 215 and a quarter. And the champion got on the scales surprisingly light, surprisingly low, 206. Well, both fighters were very confident. Cash flexed the muscles for about 1,000 faithful fans that watched the weigh-in ceremonies. Then he started shadowboxing in front of Sonny Liston, telling Sonny what he was going to do to him tonight, right now, the night of the big fight. So what do we think? Just hold on, and you'll get a pretty good idea of exactly what's going to happen. Those are the weigh-in ceremonies. That's the story of Lewiston. That's the story of the big fight.
The weigh-in took place. Ali weighed in at 206 pounds, and Liston weighed in at 215 pounds. Both fighters weighed less than they weighed in the first fight. As the two fighters stood by the scale, Ali shadowboxed and there was some mild trash talk between him and Liston. Ali spent some time telling Liston how fast he was and told Liston he was going to whoop him. Liston yelled at Ali and told him to shut his mouth and vowed to take care of Ali during the fight. As Liston stepped on the scale, Ali moved in to take a close look. Liston mean-mugged Ali the whole time, but Ali did not appear to be one bit intimidated. Liston told Ali, "I'm going to beat you and all your black Muslim friends tonight." Ali responded and told Liston, "I'm going to beat you so bad you will join us after the fight." In the past, Liston had used mean-mugging as a way to win the fight before the actual fight took place. Liston himself called it the eye. He gave what he referred to as the eye to past opponents and to media men. These tactics did not work with Ali. Ali would always ask Liston questions like, "What are you looking at, you big black bear?" Fighters that utilize intimidation tactics will always meet a fighter that those tactics do not work against. Liston should have remembered that from the first fight. There was no doubt about it. Liston would have to be on his A game to beat the young undefeated Muhammad Ali. Ali had also ran into heavyweight contender George Chuvalo. Chuvalo was at the weigh-in, he was going to be at the fight, and he was seeking a fight against the winner. Now, one thing about Chuvalo is that Chuvalo had never minded giving the trash talk back to Ali. The two did indeed participate in some trash talking. Even though Ali was getting ready to fight Sonny Liston, he acknowledged George Chuvalo, and they participated in some verbal sparring. But as of now, Liston was next in line as Ali had to fight him later that night, and then Floyd Patterson, if Ali could defeat Liston. If Liston won, there was a good chance that he would be fighting Ernie Terrell, who was the WBA champion of the world. Ali's parents had also arrived in town. They were still at odds with Ali over his affiliation with the Nation of Islam. Ali's father said that he wishes his son would have presented himself more like Joe Louis, and that Joe Louis was always Ali's hero. His father said that Ali would have to figure out the NOI's flaws on his own. His mother told the media that Ali was lost and was also afraid to separate from Elijah Muhammad. His parents would not hold their tongues. It appeared as though Ali attempted to limit his parents' time around the media, but Ali could not regulate conversations between his parents and the media. He was able to do that better with his wife Sonji when she was around him, but his parents would never hold their tongue. It was no secret Ali's parents did not approve of the NOI. They did not support Ali and his brother being part of the NOI, but Ali was now 23 years old and appeared to be happy with his place in the organization. Regardless of their criticisms, Ali showed his parents respect and did not elaborate on their disapproval of the NOI. The NOI members that were around Ali had nothing to say about Ali's parents. Threats had came up again the day of the fight. Ali this time displayed two pictures and said that the only two men he was afraid of was Elijah Muhammad and Elijah's messenger. The media kept the stories coming in on the beef between the black Muslims and the black nationalists affiliated with Malcolm X. Law enforcement officers and private security had showed up in high numbers. There were so many guns in the environment that the last thing anyone in attendance needed was an attempt on anyone's life to take place. Ali's popularity continued to grow day by day. Most heavyweights wanted to fight with Ali as Ali was a cash cow fighter. There was a fighter from out of North Carolina, Tugboat Thomas, his name was, and he was interested in making a comeback. He wanted some work with Muhammad Ali and was told that he would be considered for an exhibition match with Ali after the Liston fight. He had offered Ali his services as a sparring partner before the Liston bout, but was not considered at the time to join Ali's camp. Tugboat Thomas told the locals in Charlotte that he would be present at the closed circuit showing of the heavyweight title fight and that he had been promised an exhibition against Ali if Ali wins the fight. According to Thomas, that exhibition will never take place because Liston is too much of a man for Ali. Thomas said that Ali was very lucky to have won the first fight. He said the reason Ali won the first fight is because Liston was injured in the first fight. Thomas told the reporters that Liston will knock Ali out in this fight, and he, along with several other heavyweights, thought that Liston would win the rematch. Thomas also thought that there was a few other heavyweights that could beat Ali, including himself. He said that he had been dreaming about fighting Floyd Patterson since Patterson won the heavyweight championship of the world. According to Tugboat Thomas, if he ever got the chance to fight Patterson, he would knock Patterson out cold. But Thomas was just another one of several heavyweights that had their say in the upcoming fight between Ali and Liston. It appeared as though most of the heavyweights favored Liston, but there was a few out there that also favored Ali. Now, one thing that they did seem to have in common, as far as the other heavyweights in the division, the majority of them thought that both Liston and Ali was overrated. May 25th, 1965. Fight night had finally come. Former heavyweight champion of the world, Jersey Joe Walcott, had been assigned the referee for the main event. The night was filled with action as there was a lot of knockouts on the card. Both Sonny Liston and Ali had sparring partners fighting on the undercard. Ali's sparring partner, Jimmy Ellis, was fighting in the light heavyweight division. Ellis would stop and conclude 1940s throwback fighter Joe Blackwood's career in one round. Ali's sparring partner Cody Jones would lose a decision to a young fighter named Mel Turnbow. Ali's brother also won his fight by second round knockout. Then there was Liston's sparring partner Amos Big Train Lincoln. He would knock out Hartford, Connecticut's Abe Davis in the very first round. The talk was over. Ali vs. Liston 2 had been being built for over a year. The WBC belt would be on the line. Also recognized was the New York State Athletic Commission belt and the ring heavyweight title.
Do anybody need any ice?
My right side's better than my left. We're safe for the weekend now.
What they doing? Okay, go ahead, I'm coming, man. As soon as I get the glove on. I want to get the glove on.
Let me on at 10:30, you know.
Okay, we ready.
Now bouncing in from the dressing room on the far side of the arena. You can just about picture him at the top of your screen or in the center of your screen as Cassius again loose and limber with his very short terry cloth robe coming into the ring, up the ring stairs, and he's being booed.
One of the top contenders for heavyweight championship honors, the popular heavyweight champion of Canada, George Chuvalo. Retired featherweight champion, Sandy Sadler. One of the greatest featherweight champions of all time, Willie Pep. Newly crowned light heavyweight champion, Jose Torres. Former heavyweight king, the Cinderella Man, James J. Braddock. The only man ever to regain the heavyweight title, two-time heavyweight champion of the world, Floyd Patterson. Former heavyweight champion from Boston, Jack Sharkey. Retired, undefeated heavyweight king, Rocky Marciano. Ladies and gentlemen, the Brown Bomber, Joe Louis. And the referee, ladies and gentlemen, the former heavyweight champion of the world, Jersey Joe Walcott. He weighs 215 1/4, the former heavyweight champion, and now the challenger, Sonny Liston.
Sonny Liston, very popular with the folks here in Lewiston, Maine. No kidding about that.
206, the heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali. Ladies and gentlemen, Jersey Joe Walcott will now give the instructions.
Muhammad Ali, better known as Cassius Clay. Let's listen to the referee.
I'm not going to go with a lot of preliminaries. I know you both know the rules of Maine, so I'm in here to enforce them. So I'll say to you, keep your punches up, protect yourself at all times. Good luck. Shake hands, come out fighting.
If you're going to score with us, well, get your pencil and pad handy. We're waiting for that bell for round one. Here we go.
The bell would ring and both fighters would throw punches right away, with Liston throwing a left hand and Ali throwing a right hand. Ali got up on his toes with his arms hanging down. Ali appeared to be finding a comfortable distance between himself and Liston to launch an attack. It also looked as though Ali was attempting to bait the slower Liston to throw punches so that Ali could counter off of Liston's attack.
Note that Cassius wants to stay out in the center of the ring where he happens to be the king. Sonny Liston in the dark trunks is chasing that man straight away. Is that a mistake?
Liston threw out a few lazy jabs and did not appear to be trying very hard to cut off the ring. As Liston was moving forward, Ali landed a right hand.
The right hand shot that you saw, that was the best punch thus far landed by the champion. We note that early, halfway through this first round, that Sonny is shooting.
After the right hand, Liston started to let his hands go. But compared to the 23-year-old Ali, Liston was slow. Eventually, Liston stepped in with a stiff jab, and Ali stepped back, quickly sprung forward, and landed a right hand over Liston's jab. This punch would knock Liston down. Liston rolled over, got to his right knee, and then fell on his back again. The referee, Joe Walcott, asked Ali to go to a neutral corner and Ali was not following the referee's instructions and was screaming at Liston to get up and calling Liston a sucker and a bum. Liston did get up, but the ref, Joe Walcott, could not hear the timekeeper. Walcott left the fighters so that he could hear what the timekeeper was saying. The action continued just long enough for Walcott to hear that Liston was counted out of the fight and that the fight was over. Walcott returned to the fighters and ended the action. A wave of controversy would instantly come after the stoppage. The fans started booing and chanting the fight was fixed and fake. The majority of paying fight fans was upset. A few senators was asking the Maine Boxing Commission to complete a full-scale investigation. Ali told the media that the surprise that he had been talking about was the anchor punch. He told the media that he knew he was going to knock Liston out in the very first round. He also said that he was never worried about any violence taking place and that Sonny Liston was more afraid of the threats than he was.
First round. He's now talking to the press. We have the entire Mutual network of over 800 stations, 80 million listeners in with our closed circuit audience. Muhammad Ali, better known as Cassius Clay. Muhammad, what was the punch that won it for you? You're a real champion at this point.
Well, the punch that won the fight for me, I believe was a left hook or a right cross. And one of the two, I really can't think because I was moving too fast.
A left hook or a right cross?
That's right.
All right, now, did you think you were going to be able to do it in the first round? You did it in 6 rounds last time, Cassius.
Did not tell the world that I had a surprise. And that if I told you the surprise, you would not come to the fight. With me was Almighty Allah and His messenger. And I've been saying my prayers regular, living a righteous life.
Right.
And as you see, what happened?
Oh, wait a minute. Now, let me ask you this, if I may, Cassius. Wait a minute. Mohammed. All right, no, wait a minute. Okay, all right, Mohammed, tell me this. Did you think, did Liston hit you with any kind of shot that maybe hurt you, any whack toward the body?
No, he hit at my body, but he hit my arms instead.
He hit your arms instead.
I'm a little too fast, Steve, to be hit by something that was
You seemed very confident at the beginning. Why were you that confident coming out?
I'm confident because Allah's with me and His messenger, Elijah Muhammad.
All right, now, Muhammad, tell me this. What did you really knock him out with the left hook and the right smash?
Well, I would like to see the videotape if you have it.
All right, do we have the videotape? Yes, we do. All right, we have the videotape, and let's try for viewers all over the world see what we have. We're going to run it back, I believe, in slow motion. Don't lean on me, fellas, please. If you don't mind, this is a hectic scene. But now look.
Where'd you get that after dinner
Now listen.
jacket?
No, that's
a beauty.
Thank you, Angelo.
Just like the knockout.
You must be a happy guy. While we're waiting for this tape to be replayed, Mohammed, who would you like to go against next?
Well, I guess we'll get the rabbit Floyd Patterson next. He wants to beat me up.
There you are. There you are. Let me
see what he can do.
Now there's the beginning of the
fight.
fight.
They cut it on fast motion. We don't need
no, it's slow motion because we want to entertain the folks. We want them to see what you just told us.
I understand. I ended so fast. You want them to get get something for the money, huh?
Yes, I do. All right, now this is the beginning of the first round. Jersey Joe Walcott's the referee. Now, what was that? A right over a left?
That fast right hand that no heavyweight in the world has.
Now, that left hook, did that jar the guy?
I don't know, Steve. I didn't feel it.
All right, now look. Did you improve with the right hand?
Look at that beautiful grace, fella. You've never seen a man in history move like this. Notice that. Ain't that beautiful? Dodging all of those powerful punches. You notice him floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee. That's my old saying.
Well, that is your old saying. Now, what are you feigning
look at that beautiful
this guy?
Work.
Are you feigning it all?
Marciano, none of them was no prettier. Look at the timing. Look.
All right, now, Cassius, Mohammed, were you feigning this guy at any time?
Well, Steve, I've fainted him a few times.
Now, look, we stopped our cameras. And there's Sonny moving toward you with what he considers his big bombs. Did you think he'd be able to lower the boom?
Yeah, Sonny have big bombs, but as you see, with those bombs, he couldn't find nothing to hit.
He couldn't. Now, I noticed you got out of close range pretty fast. Was that your battle plan?
Here's the knockout, Steve.
No, come on. Well, Mohammed, tell us now. What was your battle plan?
I'm just watching him, letting him throw a few punches. He's strong now. He's got a lot of energy. Let him tire himself out a little, miss a few, fill him out. When a man misses punches, he loses confidence. And as you see, I'm just floating around, taking my time, watching him, listening to the people boo. As you know, the world, Liston was a gangster, a criminal. But now, as you know, everybody was for him. I guess I was the villain. although live a righteous life, I was the villain. So I guess God just wanted the world to see that no wicked, evil criminal can whoop a righteous man.
Let me interrupt you. What did you do there with your feet?
Beautiful footwork. I was getting ready to come in there with a pretty right, but he was in the way.
He was in the way.
Yes, I must say this was an easy payday. My shape was so good, it really surprised me. I came in at 2
Now you're going to hit him. Watch
6
closely.
pounds.
Watch closely. Is it a right-hand counter? You tell us what it is. I think it was a right-hand counter, not the left hook that you talked about a while ago.
Well, didn't I tell you that Liston said in my poem, I want the world to know that I apologize. This kid is so fast, he can't be touched, you know.
Now watch this.
That's part
Watch
of the poem I
closely.
have.
He's still the aggressor, at least moving towards you.
This
Now,
is scientific action, you see. I'm a creative fighter, just taking my time and watching him. The man is a little afraid. All of this talk about somebody coming in the arena with bombs and machine guns scared him to death. It didn't scare me, but it scared him.
well, now, Bodini, there it is. That was the right-hand counter.
Let's watch it. Let's watch it.
A right-hand counter, as I saw it.
Steve, you have never saw the real Muhammad Ali. I haven't had time to warm up yet.
You haven't.
I haven't had time to just sit down and
Let's look at it again. Now, that right hand was good. He aims toward the belly. He hit you under the heart there.
Yeah, I didn't feel it.
You didn't?
No, let's watch it. I thank Allah for his messenger, Elijah Muhammad, for giving me the confidence to conquer all of this fear
All right,
they
now-
tried to put in me here tonight. I don't want to
describe
overlook
this.
it.
Describe this to us. Here he's coming towards you. He's moving in. You counter, I think.
I know I just blocked that right hand with my elbow. See, you notice my guard is down. I can't be hit because I have split-second timing with footwork and head work.
All right, now watch it. Here it goes, in my opinion, as I look back. Halfway through this first round, or a little better, he's off balance.
I'm glad you're showing this in slow motion. I see why now. So fast, I don't guess you can see me in real action, Holly.
You're too tough for me. You're too tough for me to see. All right, let's be looking closely. A long time in slow motion for this to happen.
Really howling.
No.
That's right hand.
Right hand. The right hand hurt him.
Right hand. Right hand. Watch it.
What was it?
Watch it. Right hand. Watch it.
Did you think he was getting up?
Oh, I knew he would fall early, but I wanted it to be about 3 or 4 minutes later.
Why are you standing over him,
I'm trying
Muhammad?
to tell the bum to get up and fight. People
Why are
pay
you
all the
doing
money.
that? Tell me why.
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? Hold it, don't say nothing. Didn't I tell you my poem? Listen, said this time I'm a bigger fool. I'm flat on my back instead of the stool. And I'll be damned if it's not right.
And right now, there's a man in the ring, George Chuvalo, and there he is, who wants to fight the heavyweight champion. He's ready at that moment. He may get the next shot. Indeed, this may be a new beginning. That's the story of the big fight. Muhammad Ali against Sonny Liston.
Because a man naturally looks bad when he fight me. He'll knock out Floyd Patterson. The same punches he came at me with would have knocked out Floyd Patterson.
He just answered that.
And one more thing I want you fellas to know, as you heard Johnny Addy introduce me, I'm asking you in a nice way. The world is watching, and I want you to respect it, and I would like for you to call me by my name now. Muhammad Ali.
Why didn't you go to a neutral corner?
Well, I was excited, and I wanted him to get up. See, I only got warmed up. I didn't get touched on my face, Harley, and I wanted to do a little boxing. I wanted some action.
How soon do you want to fight Patterson?
Well, I guess I'm not the champ then. I broke the rule. Now what you gonna do? So what I do? Break the rule? Now what we gonna do? Have a rematch for that?
How soon do you want to fight Floyd?
What? I don't care.
The minute he hit the floor, I heard they said fix. You could hear the ringside. Do you hear any people hollering fix? Yeah, I heard it. I heard him say fix. As soon as he fell. I said get up. Come on. I mean fix. I don't know nothing about no fix. I want to fight. That's what I'm doing.
Why did you keep throwing punches at him after the...
Well, he let us come back, but it was over. He didn't know it, I heard. The count was over.
What did you think at that moment?
I thought that they let him go back again. You know how heavyweight title is. They don't really stop nothing to. He's the man that counted 10. I figured it counted 8 or 9 or whatever it was. It wasn't to 10, and they would give him another chance. You know, fellas come back 2 and 3 times.
Why did you not go to a neutral corner when that was a violation of the rules?
Well, really, to tell you the truth, I wasn't thinking about a neutral corner, and I haven't been used to going to neutral corners, you know. They just stopped my fights before it. I've never been in the habit of going to neutral corners and waiting. My men are in such a shape where they're cut up sore, they're shook up so until they stop. Whether it's on the floor, on the stool, or in the center of the ring, badly beaten. I'm not used to going to corners and waiting. And I just wanted to just go.
Champ, do you think you're a better fighter? You are a better fighter?
Oh, yeah, what I want to say to you is I'm growing. You've been reading about me, but I'm growing. See, I'm only 23. I'll be getting harder until I'm 25, seasoned. You notice I was a more seasoned fighter this time. No ducking and running, and I'm just taking my time and using my weight and my big shoulders. I'm spreading, see? And there will be many a one-round knockout coming up. You have a great future, and you have a lot of surprises coming. That Mr. would be flat on his back instead of the stool. Look, man, that's his. Something to think about, ain't it? Sonny Liston. I know. I can hear the winos and the hobos and the little people who bet the nickels and the dollars in the pool room now. He's a bad man, ain't he? He hit that bear so hard. Don't never bet against him no more. I don't know what he's gonna do. He told us to get there early. I know a lot of people missed the fight. Walking around, you know, we have people that like to come to the fights late, showing off the pretty suits, you know, all the players, you know. They missed the fight, you know. Oh, shoot.
Said it was a fair punch. Sonny, did the punch surprise you? Clay says,
yes, it did.
Clay says it was a new tactic to counter right.
It was a surprising punch.
Trying to listen for the count, and then what? What happened after that?
Walcott never came over.
Sonny, what happened? What did he hit you with?
It was a right hand. Right hand.
Sonny, what happened when you tried to get up, and do you think that the fight was stopped before it should have been?
What happened when you tried to get up? Do you think the fight was stopped before it should have been?
Well, only thing I was trying to pick up the count.
He was trying to pick up the count.
Did you hear the count? Did you know what?
No, I didn't.
You didn't hear the count.
He didn't hear the count, didn't know what it was. There was no count, he couldn't hear it.
Well, I thought the fight was still going because we had started fighting again. Did you see that?
Did you say anything to Walcott?
No, I thought the bell had rung.
He got up. He did not know he was counted out. No one told him that the count of 9 had been reached, or the count of 10. And I think that this man is being maligned when they say these things about him that they said. It was not his fault. My name is D'Amato, Cus D'Amato. Look, I don't care whose fault. It wasn't Liston's fault. He did not know what count it was. And he intended to arise. And he proved it by arising, and he did resume fighting. And then was informed it was too late. He had no way of knowing that he was counted, that the count by the timekeeper had ended the fight. As far as he was concerned, he did not know that the count had even reached 9. The count automatically begins when he hits the canvas by the timekeeper. That's the function of the timekeeper. To begin counting the moment any fighter's body other than his feet hits the canvas.
The referee has to count him out.
When the referee brought the champion to the corner, to the neutral corner, his function was to come back, pick up the count from the timekeeper, and then inform the fighter as the count progressed. Well, I'm just telling what the function of the referee was. Now, the referee, not hearing the fighter, not hearing the count, remained on the canvas, attempting to arise when the count had reached 9, which he never heard 9. Of course he was hurt. He was hit a clean, solid punch right on the jaw. This is not a question of being hurt.
According to Liston, it was a good shot. Liston told the media that he had never been knocked down before and that he may have tried too quickly to get up. Former heavyweight champion of the world Floyd Patterson said that he too thought Ali landed a clean shot and hurt Liston, but highly rated George Chuvalo felt different. Chuvalo told the media that the punch could not have knocked out his youngest child and that the fight looked staged. WBA officials was glad to also offer some criticism, and the WBA's legal team said that the fight was a disgrace to boxing. They pointed out again that Ernie Terrell was the real heavyweight champion of the world. There was a lot going on right after the fight, though. People were booing. People were screaming that the fight was fixed. George Chuvalo was mad at Ali and tried to approach Ali in a physical manner. Sonny Liston appeared to be in his own world and did not seem to have very many answers. Former light heavyweight champion of the world Archie Moore said that he was suspicious and had watched the slow motion replay. According to Archie Moore, a punch landed, but he did not believe Ali punched hard enough to knock Liston out with that particular punch. Moore was nearly 50 years old when he had lost the fight to Ali nearly 3 years earlier and said that Ali was not a very hard puncher when he fought Ali. But Moore pointed out that Ali may have developed more power as he was a growing young man. Highly rated heavyweight Zora Foley weighed in. Foley had fought Liston 5 years earlier and said that he had hit Liston with much harder shots and didn't believe a right hand like that could really hurt Liston. The question was being asked, did Sonny Liston take a dive? Did this have something to do with Intercontinental Promotions, the Mafia, or perhaps the guys the media call the Black Muslims? All of these kind of questions came up. According to Liston's friend, former heavyweight champion of the world Joe Louis, Louis felt that Liston should consider hanging up the gloves. The critics spoke on how Liston had once fought with a broken jaw and had been hit over the head by police officers with nightsticks on several occasions and had never been knocked out. How was it that this punch could knock out Liston, who was also known to have a solid chin? Did Liston take a dive? There was also people that believed the fight wasn't fixed. There was some that said that Liston just wanted the fight to be over and wanted his connection with Ali to end. Could it be true that Liston wanted to part ways with Ali and the NOI? There was critics that solely blamed the outcome on Sonny Liston and thought Ali had nothing to do with it. According to some critics, Sonny did not appear to be as hurt as he displayed in his actions. There was people saying that Sonny Liston had put on an act. Jokes were made about a recent movie that Sonny Liston had played in, and there was people saying that Sonny Liston was still in character mode. Sonny Liston continued to talk a little bit and told the media that he has no plans on retiring and said that he would fight anyone and will work his way back up to another title shot. His trainer Willie Reddish backed Liston up and said that Liston will work his way back up to the top. Both Liston and Reddish admitted that it would not be an easy thing for Liston to do at his age, and they knew that another title shot would not come anytime soon. One excuse Liston used was that he did not hear a count coming from Walcott. For some, it appeared as though Walcott was the easiest person to blame. But let's not forget, Ali stood over Liston. Ali did not want to remain in a neutral corner, but because there was some controversy regarding Ali going to a neutral corner, Walcott was blamed for that. The punch landed clean, said Liston. I did not quit. I was trying to pick up on the count and could not hear a count. Liston again said that he would fight anyone, including George Chuvalo. Ali continued to credit Stepin Fetchit for teaching him the anchor punch and would also continue to bash Ernie Terrell.
Tell you what's going to happen. You might not come. But I will say it will be a shocking and a dreadful night.
What they gonna say?
What they gonna say after we get him in a half a minute?
One punch. Go right out there.
One punch.
Well, yeah. Gloves in there.
That chop right. That chop right. When I tell them about that chop right, the Stepin Fetchit was teaching me. Come here, Step. That's old Step right here. Where you?
Come to find out, not only did the fight get booed at the live event, the fight was booed in closed-circuit TV locations around the country, and according to reports, the majority of the UK fan base that was up at 4 a.m. was also very unhappy. Henry Cooper told the British media that the Americans are not doing well representing the sport of boxing and that the British heavyweights put on better shows. Cooper did not say the British heavyweights were better, but did say they put on better shows, and he was referring to himself, Brian London, Johnny Prescott, and Billy Walker, who had all experienced success against American heavyweights. Cooper may not have chose his words wisely, as he said that the American heavyweights appeared to be on the decline. Cooper pointed out that Sonny Liston had lost twice. Cleveland Williams was now weighing 165 pounds and was out of the picture. There was declines displayed from 50s heavyweights such as Eddie Machen. And then there was the grab and hold champion Ernie Terrell, who was having a problem selling tickets and gaining popularity. Was now the time for the UK to make some serious noise? Was it time for the UK to take over the heavyweight division? Henry Cooper believed that there was a lot of opportunity out there for British heavyweights, and now was the right time. But there was some young, unproven American heavyweights that were on the come-up. You had Thad Spencer, Leotis Martin, and a few others. There was also some new faces making pro debuts. You had amateur standouts in Buster Mathis, Jerry Quarry, and then there was an Olympic gold medalist working a 9-to-5 in Philadelphia named Joe Frazier. So there was some hope for American boxing. Older American heavyweights like Floyd Patterson and Zora Foley had showed the fight fans of 1965 that they still have some juice with recent victories. Plus there was Muhammad Ali. Did Henry Cooper perhaps speak too soon? That would remain to be seen. Over the next few days, the media would use this fight as the main reason they felt boxing was on the decline. The old-time fight fans would talk about the good old days of Jack Dempsey and Joe Louis. Some believed that boxing had not had a great heavyweight champion since Rocky Marciano ruled a decade earlier. Muhammad Ali had just completed his first defense, and it appeared as though this young man could rule for a long time. One of the most established heavyweights that had appeared to have the best chance to defeat Ali was former heavyweight champion of the world Floyd Patterson. Patterson had fast hands and quick reflexes. There were some fight fans that felt Patterson's style would give Ali more problems than a slower Sonny Liston style did. Many fight fans revisited the Henry Cooper fight. Henry Cooper once again was a British heavyweight fighter that had floored Ali the fight before Ali's 2 fights with Sonny Liston. According to some of Ali's critics, the smaller, faster heavyweights would get to him. Henry Cooper did land punches more successfully than Liston. Floyd Patterson had recently defeated a few top-tier heavyweights in Eddie Machen and George Chuvalo. Patterson had also just defeated Texas fighter Todd Herring, so he was definitely also an active fighter. Many of the fight fans wanted Floyd Patterson to fight Ali. Ali wanted to fight Floyd Patterson as well. This just appeared to be a fight that the fight fans wanted. It seemed to make sense to match these two guys up for Ali's next defense. But there was another fighter that wanted a shot. He also had a fan base. That was Canada's George Chuvalo. Chuvalo had worked himself up to be some kind of feared boogeyman in the heavyweight division. But Chuvalo could be outboxed, as Floyd Patterson and Zora Foley had both outboxed Chuvalo over the past 2 to 3 years. There was the WBA's heavyweight champion Ernie Terrell. But Terrell was not a big draw, even with the WBA belt in his possession. Ernie Terrell could perhaps put in some work to build the fight between him and Ali. Ali continued to brag to the fight fans and media, saying that he is the greatest heavyweight fighter of all times, and said that he would have defeated all the heavyweights before him. He talked about the anchor punch that he stopped Liston with and said that punch came from out of Jack Johnson's toolbox. He continued to remind the media that he learned the anchor punch from Stephen Fetchit, who was a friend of Jack Johnson's. Ali also went in on who he referred to as Liston's old friends for turning their backs on Liston. Ali said that Liston got nothing for the fight and had nothing around him but a bunch of snakes. He said that he feels sorry for Liston and he hopes Liston could get back on his feet. He also said that now that the fight was over, he's more than willing to be Liston's friend. According to Ali, nobody cared about Liston anymore, but Ali said that he does. When Ali was laying in the hospital with hernia, he said that he waited for Liston to show up. He said that he wanted a visit from Liston. That visit never did take place, but Ali said that he was not going to treat Liston how Liston treated him. He said that his plan was for him and his wife to visit Liston and his family in Denver, Colorado within the next few weeks. Ali, who had spent most of his immediate time after his knockout victory calling out Floyd Patterson, seemed to change his mind the very next day. Ali was now saying he would prefer to fight Canadian heavyweight George Chuvalo next. As the days rolled by, reports would shift between Patterson and Chuvalo as to who Ali would fight next. Ali was mad at Chuvalo for being disrespectful after Ali defeated Liston. Ali told the media that Chuvalo attempted to ruin his moment and was overly aggressive when they came face to face after the fight. He acted like he was going to hit me. He just might be next. I've got something for him. He might just be building himself up for a big disgrace. But that's up to my manager. They've got the power, ability, connections, and complexion for that sort of thing. Ali also said that Chuvalo is the only fighter alive that has a chance to defeat him. He told the media that his plan is to take on the world.
I think Chuvalo would make boxing more colorful, and Chuvalo would make a better fight. He's never been knocked down, and Patterson has a habit of being knocked out. And Chuvalo's never been knocked down, and he's boxing is at a stage of the game now like it used to be when Jack Johnson and people were fighting, where the people wanted to see a good white hope, a good white contender that could put up a good fight to help bring more interest in the boxing. Like boxing is a game where certain people have pride in a fellow being a champion, well, at least in the race of our country, and the heavyweights, special heavyweights. Like when Ingemar Johansson had the championship, whenever he fought, all Sweden was behind him and had interest in boxing. And when Jose Torres, the fellow that just beat Willie Pastrana, the Puerto Rican light heavyweight champion, whenever he fights something, you can't get in Madison Square Garden for all the Puerto Rican people buying all the tickets in advance. Same with things today. Most of the Negro dominate boxing, and it gets rather dull, and many of the people would like to have certain sides to pull for, something to go root for, and I think Chuvalo would be a better fight than Patterson.
I think an exception to your argument there, champ, would be the fact that Floyd Patterson can go to Sweden and fight, and is a tremendous draw.
Well, that's good. He's real life. I'll be in Sweden also in about another week. I'm going there too. I have big demand in Sweden. They want me not only Sweden, all over the world. From where we go to boxing. We go to 3 countries where they don't even go for boxing. And that's the Sudan, Cairo, Egypt, and Pakistan. These are countries that never thought about boxing until I won the title. And after they had
Floyd Patterson and George Chuvalo was at the top of his hit list. Ali said that black fight fans would approach him more interested in a Patterson fight, and that white fans would prefer to see him fight George Chuvalo.
Would you fight Floyd Patterson for charity?
Floyd Patterson's a sister. I done knocked that out of my mind. He ain't nothing but a chump. If he go back, let him go back and fight Sonny Liston. If he can last 2 rounds, again, if he can answer the bell for the second time with Liston, then he might deserve a shot at me. I'm the king.
Floyd thinks he can beat you.
Floyd dreamed he beat me, he'd apologize. He'd rather run through hell in a gasoline spoke coat. I can't be beat.
Ali told the media to let the fight fans vote for who his next opponent will be. He also told the media that he was tired of Jersey Joe Walcott receiving criticism when it was himself that was at fault for Walcott's confusion. Ali admitted that he should have went to a neutral corner right away. Ali then told the media to line up Patterson, Chuvalo, and Terrell all on the same night. I'll whoop all 3 of them chumps on the same night. There was no doubt about it that the heavyweights that were on Ali's mind the most was Floyd Patterson, George Chuvalo, and Ernie Terrell. The fight fans would just have to wait and see when and where he would face these guys. Would he make it through all 3 of these guys, or would one of these guys have the juice to upset a young Ali? All of this remained to be seen at this time. If you don't mind, make sure you hit the like button under my videos. That would really help out the channel a great deal. You could also donate right here next to share by hitting the thanks button. So I would appreciate that. If you don't donate, that's fine. If you would at least hit the like button, I would really appreciate that. I would like to wish everybody a good 2024. Thanks for viewing the video.